Hey guys, this is number 23 on page 34. And this is another one of those I would not worry about at all. It's just a graphing exercise where they're giving us clues. Okay, so I'm supposed to graph this thing, and here are the conditions. There are 3 X intercepts. So what that means to me is that there are 3 points where y is 0. We don't know the x values, but I can tell you that y is 0. There is a relative maximum. So there's one high point. The end behavior on the left is different from the end behavior on the right. So one is rising, one is falling. The graph has no symmetry, and there is one relative minimum. Okay, so it could be something like this. This is not the only graph that would fit the description, but this is the graph that the book gives. So let's sketch a coordinate plane, and I do need negatives this time, not just the first quadrant, because this graph is going to be above and below the x-axis. Alright, I'm just going to pick at random because I don't know what the x-intercepts are. I'm just going to drop some down here. As long as those points are lying on the x-axis, they're x-intercepts. So I'm just picking out some points wherever my pencil happens to fall. There are 3 x-intercepts. There is a relative maximum. There's a high point. So I'm going to put it right there. You can put it wherever you want it, but I think right there looks good. That's the maximum. There's a relative, so nothing goes higher than that point. The end behavior on the left, I'm going to let him fall, is different than the end behavior on the right. I'm going to let that rise. Different end behavior. The graph has no symmetry, and I can already tell you that by looking at this. I think that it's a pretty peculiar looking graph. And there is one relative minimum. Well, since I put the maximum on the left side, I'm going to put the minimum over here. Just anywhere I can think to put it is fine. Again, this is just one graph that you could come up with. There could be hundreds of thousands of them. But I'm going to connect my dots here. There's the maximum, and here's the minimum, and here is that end behavior that is different. Let's check the conditions. 3 x-intercepts. 1, 2, 3. A relative maximum. The end behavior on the left is different than the end behavior on the right. No symmetry, and one relative minimum. So as long as my graph fits all of those conditions, it is an acceptable answer. You will not have to do this on the high set. This is a theory question, but they are testing your understanding of vocabulary. So I didn't want to just skip over it. It's actually halfway decent little exercise, I think. Alright, that brings us to the end of this chapter. We have the Module 3 review, and then we'll be done with this chapter. So I'm going to stop the video, and I'll see you back for page 55 of your workbook.